talk into the cell phone.
Ah, Mikey is
Mike,
Mikey is a really weird figure in the dark
how'd you know I'm in the dark?
because I can see like little reflective bits of the picture. Ah, there we go. The the contemplative picture. That's what we're used to.
You're staring at the ceiling.
There.
So yeah, we were discussing the acting talents of Miles Teller and his portrayal of either a nerd or a d bag.
From Legends tonight.
No, from
Fantastic Four,
Fantastic
Divergent
Four.
Series, Whiplash.
I got you.
So no, I haven't watched Legends because Steph had the TV.
Yeah.
And she didn't tell me till like 7:30. She's like, "Oh, you can change that. I'm not watching it." Thanks, honey. So I had enough time. I had enough time to watch Big Bang. That's all I had time to watch.
Was there Flash this week?
No, because of the election.
Yeah, there was nothing on Tuesday.
Yeah, what I figure because everything else was new this week. What I figure they'll do is Flash will be the only thing that's new on Thanksgiving week, and that'll catch it all up. And so, because if my count is correct, this coming Wednesday night is episode 99 of Arrow.
Dun, dun, dun.
And so they're not going to run episode 100 the day before Thanksgiving. So I figure they'll run Flash the week of Thanksgiving to get it caught back up with all the rest of the shows. And then the crossover should be right after Thanksgiving, the first week of December, because it starts on the 100th episode of Arrow.
I gotcha.
And so if I've got all of my reports correct and everything, the crossover, the big multi-part crossover starts on the 100th episode of Arrow, which should be episode 8 this season, which they last night was episode 6. So next week should be 99, and that would make 100 right after Thanksgiving. And then they'll go on. Then they'll go on break.
No, it says there's a new episode next on Thanksgiving.
That's weird.
But there's no new episode this week. Or
Like-
next week.
According to my guide, when everything's got a new episode next week.
Wait, whoa. This is okay. IMDb is like on crack right now.
Yeah.
It says Vigilante, 23rd air date 23rd November 2016, and then it puts on airs Wednesday, November 16th.
Yeah. No, Vigilante airs on the 16th.
Oh, okay. No, they're gonna re-air it on the 23rd. Like they're gonna show the same episode back-to-back weeks.
Okay. So yeah, it'll be a rerun Thanksgiving week. That makes sense.
Although rarely does anybody put anything new on Thanksgiving week.
Right.
Because
The only thing they would do, I could see him do is air his Flash, just because it took a week. It took off this week and nothing else did.
right.
And so I could see them running Flash, no pun intended, to catch it up with the other shows.
So I've got a humorous story.
Okay.
Only slightly humorous. I mean, it's not like, falling over laughing BJ's horse story.
The horse.
But anyways, so one of the kids today had a Lego Flash piece,
Okay.
or Lego Flash guy.
Right.
And I was like, do you know what Flash's real name is? And he's like, no. And I was like, it's Barry. And I couldn't remember his last name. But here's where I say it's funny. His last, because I figured it out. I remembered it was Barry Allen. The A in AJ stands for Allen.
Yeah. That's funny. Yes. So Doctor Strange is going to happen tomorrow.
Mhm.
And you know what? I'm not like we're going because we're like, hey, let's do something, and that was something to do. But that's the only situation that results in me seeing it because I wasn't going to go out of my way to try to see this movie because I'm not familiar with the character enough to be interested in it, and I don't get to go to the movies very often, and so it just wasn't a priority. And I didn't get to see Ant-Man, and that was a priority, and I still ended up missing it. So I certainly wasn't going to bend over backwards to try to catch this one. Um, but I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's going to be good. I've heard nothing but great things about it, but I'm not like super. I wasn't super excited about having to see it. You know.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I have a topic for later.
Okay. Um, so and yeah, Eric and I we talked like for 2 seconds before I left today that the not
yeah, by the way,
knowing.
your car sounds horrible.
Oh, I know. I know. Not knowing much about the character going in, which I think this one was probably as big, if not a bigger gamble than Guardians. Because with Guardians, you had Chris Pratt to, but really before he was on Parks and Rec, but he hadn't really become Chris Pratt yet.
He was on
And
Everwood. Shut your face. I've known Chris Pratt since 2001 or 2002.
With Agent 13, it's all connected.
Yes,
Uh,
they dated.
did they really?
Yeah, they were brother and sister on Everwood, but they dated in real life.
Nice.
Which isn't, so did still Peter Krause and Lauren Graham.
Oh, are they still together?
Yeah, because
Nice.
he was talking about it when his failed show started last year.
I like them together. That works for me. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I like that. But yeah, like I know Doctor Strange from an animated movie that Marvel made about 10 years ago, and I know Doctor Strange from cameos in other like Marvel property like comic or cartoons mostly. Um, it's just he's just always been this wizard dude that does the rock hands when he casts spells.
But see, I will say I know more about this guy, about Doctor Strange, like more familiarity with Doctor Strange than I'd had with the Guardians of the Galaxy or Ant-Man going in.
And maybe it's because I don't like Benedict Cumberbatch.
Well, that's because you're just an asshole.
That's true. Though I do like the thing in the trailer where he hands him the little sheet of paper that says Shambhala on it, and he's like, "Is this my mantra?" And he's like, "It's the Wi-Fi password. We're not savages." So yeah, I thought that was pretty good. So
one thing I still like, the funny meme about Benedict Cumberbatch that I still like is when after the second Hobbit movie came out, they said that the reason that it cost so much money was because Benedict Cumberbatch actually did become a dragon and would fly.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, you can't make me.
I saw this thing, and I don't know if this is actually how it played out, or they just put the text on there to be funny. But it's Benedict Cumberbatch from Graham Norton, and says the dialogue says my agent told me that I would be really good as Doctor Strange, and I said, Doctor Who? Yeah, him too.
Nice.
I thought that was pretty funny. So, well, speaking of Shambhala, I have really, really been enjoying my Buddhism studies, and I'm getting very zen. And it turns out I already have a bit of a Buddhist mindset. Just on the other side of it, um, on kind of the dark side. So I'm basically like a Buddhist Sith Lord, um, because Buddhism is all about living in the moment. And there's a really good analogy that is so simple, but it just completely it completely opened my eyes to the concept. I've been listening to a podcast, the Secular Buddhism podcast, by Noah, and I'm gonna butcher his last name, so I'm not even gonna try. His name's Noah, and because I'm gonna have to look how to sound it out so I don't butcher it too much. So, but it's the Secular Buddhism podcast, and he starts each podcast by saying that with a quote from the Dalai Lama that says, "Don't use the teachings of Buddhism to become a Buddhist." Noah Rasheta, sorry, but use the teachings to become a better whatever you already are. And I really like this podcast because it's not atheistic, because I'm not an atheist, and that's not what I'm not looking at this from an atheistic point of view. I'm looking at it from a secular point of view as it relates to Buddhism, because I'm not interested in the religious aspect of Buddhism. But Noah makes an analogy about looking at life as not a game of chess where you're looking several moves ahead, but rather as a game of Tetris where you have to deal with the piece that you're given right then. You can't be thinking about the piece you're going to get 5 pieces from now. Just deal with what you got. And there's no point in getting mad because you got a block instead of a bar. Just deal with the piece that you're given, find where it fits in your life, and then wait for the next piece, because there's always another piece coming right behind it. And so just deal with it and wait for the next piece and deal with that piece as it comes along. And it's a really, really interesting way of looking at it. But Buddhism is, for what I have gathered from it, is Buddhism is kind of it is what it is in a don't sweat the small stuff kind of way. And it is what it is, but in a well of effing course that happened. Like expecting bad things to happen, and and yes, it is what it is, but in a, well, yeah, I figured that was going to happen because life sucks and bad things happen to me all the time. So it is what it is. It's a bad thing. What's one more bad thing that happened? And so it's kind of the opposite perspective to come at it. So that's what I've discovered in my teachings, is I'm basically a Buddhist Sith Lord. So yeah, that's me.
It's classy.
It is. So I need to come up with my name though. Like I need to come up with a Darth title.
Well,
So
I guess with Buddhists, you'd be Dolly something.
that's true.
Dolly who?
That's true. Dolly Vader. That's funny. I like that. Dolly Vader. That's funny.
But no,
Actually, no, it's not Dolly. It's Llama. Llama is actually the title.
Okay.
So it'd be like Darth Llama.
yeah, because it's Chinese.
That's better.
The last name is the first name.
Right.
Because Yao Ming his first name's actually Ming.
Right. But yeah, Llama is actually the title, so it'd be Darth Llama.
Or if you really want to remember, if you want a good example of it, of how the last name is the first name, Austin Powers in Goldmember. Fook me and Fook you.
Oh yes,
They were sisters.
yes.
Best twins ever.
So yeah. Let's see, Llama Vader or Darth Llama? I don't know. I'll meditate on that.
Try it.
See what I did there?
Chill.
So Eric, you had a topic.
Yes.
What's your topic, sir?
Because okay, we always talk about Halloween movies and
Right,
Christmas movies,
right.
best Thanksgiving movies, and movies that you didn't realize were Thanksgiving movies.
Okay. Thanksgiving. God. Was hold on.
There's one movie that at our house we watch every year for Thanksgiving.
Dutch.
Thanksgiving.
No, not Dutch, but we do watch Dutch too. But
But Dutch was a Thanksgiving movie.
it was a Thanksgiving movie.
Dutch was a Thanksgiving movie with Ethan Embry, but not Ethan Embry. He had a
Ethan
different
Randall.
last name.
Ethan Randall, he switched off last names back then. He would
Yeah.
do a movie as Ethan Embry and a movie as Ethan Randall.
And what? Ed O'Neill.
Yep, and Christopher McDonald and Penelope Ann Miller.
Yep.
But my personal absolute favorite, I want an effing car right effing now.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
If that is not the greatest if you do not think that is the greatest Thanksgiving movie ever, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
But we were going on Netflix last night. Now, the reason that I actually remembered Thanksgiving that it was we were looking at them and we saw something come up. Son-in-Law.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Son-in-Law is a Thanksgiving movie.
Yep.
It is. I hadn't thought about that, but no. Son-in-Law is a Thanksgiving movie.
I mean, there's a lot of Thanksgiving movies. It's just like there's a Thanksgiving song. You just don't think about it. Like Over the River and Through the Woods is a Thanksgiving song.
Is it really? I thought it was a grandma song.
I'm pretty sure it was Thanksgiving.
Here's a fun fact. One of the two
A Thanksgiving poem.
one of the two
Oh, here. Let me read you the part, and this is how I knew it was because I was singing it the other day. Over the river and through the wood to get grandfather's house away, we would not stop for doll or top for 'tis Thanksgiving Day.
well, there you go. One of the two pseudo hookers in Dutch is the voice of Tommy Pickles from Rugrats.
Nice.
The one that tries to steal Ed O'Neill's ring in the back seat and tries to use hand lotion and get it off and ends up shooting hand lotion in his mouth is the voice of Tommy Pickles in Rugrats. So there's a fun fact for you.
I found one.
Okay.
What?
And I'd start watching it now that I thought about it. Four Brothers.
Yes,
Yeah.
Totally a Thanksgiving movie.
it is. That's the one with Marky Mark, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and Tyrese and
Right. Yeah.
Andre 3000, and then one guy who's never had a rap career as the other brother.
Yeah.
I'm not wrong.
No, you're not. Wasn't it was like three black dudes and a white dude? And
It was two black dudes and two.
White dude.
okay, I was about to say.
It was I think it was Garrett Hedlund.
I don't remember. I'm
Garrett
not even sure.
Hedlund.
I may have seen it once, but that's about it.
and Sofia Vergara before she started doing the over Hispanic voice. Because if you actually watch that movie and hear her voice, then when you realize that everything that she's done with Modern Family and how she markets it now is fake.
Right. Well, it's like Fran Drescher.
Yeah, because if you watch UHF, Fran Drescher had a completely normal voice. But she got famous on The Nanny for that voice, and so she
Right. Yeah. Pieces of April.
Yes, that's one that we own. It's a good one.
Pieces of April. That is a good movie.
Now, see, the one thing I was trying to remember is if the movie by the same guy was Dan in Real Life, if that was Thanksgiving or if that was just a random holiday.
Dan in Real Life. Is that the Steve Carell?
Steve Carell and Dane Cook.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember. I've seen it, but I don't remember if that was Thanksgiving or not. But yeah, Pieces of April was a good movie.
Yes, it was.
It's very underrated. Like it got acclaim when it came out, but because it was an indie film,
yep.
And it got recognition for Katie Holmes, one of Katie Holmes' first post Dawson or non Dawson roles. I don't even know if it was post Dawson, but it was a non Dawson.
No, I'm pretty sure it was post.
Was it post The Gift?
No, because The Gift was. It may have been the same time as The Gift.
But now I know it got notoriety when it was out, but then it just kind of disappeared.
Yes, it was post The Gift because The Gift was in the middle of Dawson.
Oh, okay.
And you saw Katie Holmes' tits.
Yes, we did. This is a true story.
And I'm kind of with the guys from
Harold and Kumar.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Pieces of April was critically acclaimed when it was a thing, but once it wasn't a thing anymore, it just kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
It only existed when it was relevant, and then it just kind of fell back into the obscurity, which is a shame because it's a really good movie.
Home for the Holidays.
Supposedly.
Who's in Home for the Holidays?
Holly Hunter, I think, and
Directed
Robert Downey Jr.
Who? What?
It was directed Holly Hunter, Anne Bancroft, Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it was directed by Jodie Foster.
That seems odd.
Why? Did she
I don't
directed?
know.
Because she
No,
directed
that
Little
just-
Man Tate.
No, I know that just seems like an odd vehicle for her to have directed.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I wouldn't have thought that Jodie Foster was the director of that movie.
Wow. She just made up Jodie out of nowhere. Her actual name is Alicia.
Well, there you go.
But that's another one. I mean,
For Union, what?
What?
The Facts of Life Reunion. Made
Yes.
for television film.
I saw that.
If it didn't have George Clooney in it, though, I wouldn't. No, thank you.
Oh, he's not in there.
Let's see. It's
Well,
not worth it.
but
George
it didn't-
Clooney was on the last season of The Facts of Life. Thank you very much.
What was I watching recently that was talking about the facts of life?
George Clooney was also in both versions of ER, because ER used to be the original version of ER was a sitcom, and he was the ambulance driver. Look it up. I'm not wrong. There was a sitcom called ER that starred that starred Ross and Monica's dad as one of the main characters, and George Clooney played the punk rockish.
Elliot Gould.
Yes, he played like the punk rockish ambulance driver, and then of course he was Doug on the drama version of ER.
Oh, the reunion movie did not have Joe in it.
Oh, what else? What was she doing? A Lifetime movie or something?
I don't know. It had Joe's niece.
Joe's niece. Okay.
I remember this. The Mouse on the Mayflower.
I remember the Mouse on the Mayflower.
There you go. Thanksgiving.
I totally remember that movie.
See?
Charlie Brown Thanksgiving special.
Right.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
What
Charlie Brown does everything.
What about Freebirds?
I have
never
not
seen
watched
it.
Freebirds.
Turkey movie from a few years ago.
No, Freebirds will never be the turkey movie. It will always be either an awesome Leonard Skinner song or an awesome burrito place. Those are the only two things that you can say Freebirds about.
That's what it's called.
I know, and it's wrong.
It's wrong. Maybe they become burritos at the end. Maybe that's how it ends.
Because they do serve chicken burritos there.
Yeah. See? Maybe that's it. I haven't seen it, so we don't know how it ends.
No, I have no desire to.
Okay, here's an interesting entry. I'm looking at a list here. Here's an interesting entry. Miracle on 34th Street.
I saw that. During
Because
it's the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. It starts at Thanksgiving. The movie opens with the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
I am going to veto that one.
So I wouldn't consider it a Thanksgiving movie, but it does open at Thanksgiving.
I mean, the original one. The new one, because Macy's didn't give permission, so to do it again.
Right.
Addams Family Values.
Sense of a Woman.
Grumpy Old Men.
I don't remember.
I'm assuming we're all on the same wiki.
Probably.
I'm looking on Harper Bazaar.
No, I'm looking at Wikipedia.
So am I.
Some of them, I think they're kind of
Stretching. Yeah.
It's like Addams Family Values took place at summer camp, so they may have had like a Thanksgiving scene in it, but
see, I don't even remember. Oh, yes, the musical.
Which movie?
Addams Family Values, the musical at summer camp.
Oh yeah,
I can't believe I forgot about that.
Yeah, see,
me.
Summer camp in Thanksgiving in November.
No, they went to summer camp and they did the little play about the first Thanksgiving. And Pugsley was the turkey in the song, and he kept going, "Eat me." Oh God, I can't believe I forgot that. Because because they put Mercedes McNabb is the little girl, and they like tie her up and burn her at the stake and everything.
See, now some of the movies that they put on here, like that I'm looking at on Wikipedia, it's more like they have a scene that takes place at Thanksgiving, or there's some kind of Thanksgiving reference. But I wouldn't call it a Thanksgiving movie.
Around Thanksgiving.
Because like they have The Blind Side on here, and
that's not a Thanksgiving movie.
No, there's a scene that takes place at Thanksgiving, and Brokeback Mountain, which is definitely not a Thanksgiving.
No one is giving thanks. That is a Thanksgiving movie.
I've got 2 Hallmark films here. I have A Family Thanksgiving from 2010.
I don't know. With who?
Daphne Zuniga.
Zuniga, the princess from Spaceballs.
Oh, okay. Vaguely. What's the other one?
The other one is An Old-Fashioned Thanksgiving from also 2010.
I'm seeing
Aired
I'm seeing
December
two on
11th.
here: the National Tree and the Thanksgiving House.
There's also Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade, which was a 2012 American romantic comedy that premiered on the Hallmark Channel on November 4th, 2012.
Yes, I did see that one.
I've seen that one.
I have not seen the movie, but You've Got Mail.
No, I don't. I'm good, thanks.
That wasn't a Thanksgiving movie. Even if there was a Thanksgiving scene, that movie was a remake. Even if it took place at Thanksgiving, that movie was a remake of The Shop at the Corner, which is why she's called Shop Girl, which was a play, which I don't think took place at Thanksgiving. And yes, I do know way too much about that, but
hey,
I actually saw a stage version of the play at Thanksgiving one year.
well, there you go.
The other
Thanksgiving,
sister? Yeah.
a Disney film.
What is?
The Thanksgiving Promise with Beau Bridges as director.
The Thanksgiving
Jay-
Promise.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I don't know.
10 best Thanksgiving movies for 2016 from Good Housekeeping. But I'm going to go through this list and we can discuss. The Blind Side. Again, number one, The Blind Side. There's one scene with Thanksgiving. The rest of the movie's not a Thanksgiving movie. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That should be ranked number one ahead of...
See, even AJ is upset.
Yeah. Well, AJ
This
just
is
watched. AJ watched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles for the first time on Tuesday. He's like, even I know that's
Right, exactly.
Don't say a
Anna
word.
and her sisters.
That looks like a Hallmark, not a like a Lifetime movie or something.
What?
Like that doesn't look like a real movie.
What doesn't?
Which
Hannah and her sisters.
It's a Woody Allen film.
Oh, that explains it. And Charlie Brown
Charlie
Thanksgiving.
Brown Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Dutch.
yeah.
Grumpy Old Men. I guess Grumpy Old Men is. Oh no, there's a Thanksgiving.
One
scene.
funny Thanksgiving scene. Okay, well that doesn't count. Curly
Sue. I didn't know that Curly Sue was written by John Hughes.
I did. Yeah.
A Winnie the Pooh Thanksgiving.
National. See, okay, that's not even a clip from
No, because National
from that movie.
Holiday Reunion is with Bryan Cranston and Judge Reinhold.
That's not even Thanksgiving. That's Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, no, I'm saying the scene is Christmas Vacation, and it's not Thanksgiving. It's Christmas dinner.
Oh my God.
And number 10, Home for the Holidays.
Right, which I do remember that movie with the Holly Hunter movie. Yeah, I do remember that.
It's 3 hours long, so we haven't watched it yet.
Is it really 3 hours long?
Yeah.
Ugh. Maybe I haven't. I probably haven't watched it then, but I'm aware of it.
Oh, I've got to tell you something.
Like
Completely off
Macmillan.
subject of Thanksgiving movies. There is a movie starring Jackie Chan and John Cusack,
Yes, there is.
and it is 4 hours long.
what movie is this?
What is it?
And it's like it's in feudal Japan. It takes place during feudal Japan times.
What is this movie?
Is this it? Dragon Blade.
Okay, then it's maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah. When corrupt Roman leader Tiberius arrives with a giant army to claim the Silk Road, Hua An teams up with his army with an elite legion of defected Roman soldiers led by General Lucius to protect his country and his new friends.
I need to watch this. Bring my depends to me.
Okay,
It
this
was
is. Go
It was
ahead.
released on September 4th, 2015. Filmed in, well, it says it's 127 minutes, 103 minutes for the USA cut, but I saw something on Showtime that said it was like 4 hours long because it started at like 7 o'clock and ended at 11.
Wow. John Hodgman has lost a lot of weight.
I have no idea who John Hodgman is.
He's a PC. He was the PC
Yeah, I gotcha.
to Justin Long's Mac.
What else has he been in? Because now that I think about it,
He
I've
does a
seen
lot
that.
of like bit parts. He's never really starred in anything.
His mustache creeps me out.
Okay, so
Yeah,
now
a
that
little bit.
we're
But he's lost a lot of weight though.
so I saw the new stuff from Apple. Does anybody else want to just create zombie Steve Jobs to go back to running Apple?
I know, right?
Like
Apple is kind of
jumping the shark.
they're doing fine financially, but they've jumped the shark.
Like I just
No, they totally have.
like the new like I now have like I installed the latest update on my Mac and it has Siri and I'm like, why on earth do I need Siri on my computer?
Because of Cortana.
Windows.
Windows has Cortana, which is desktop, laptop Siri. You're supposed to be able to talk to it and just ask it questions and whatnot. And that's why they did it. That's exactly why they did it. Is because Windows Simpsons did it. That's why. And so yeah, and also to compete with OK Google and Alexa from Amazon. I mean, everybody has a voice activated feature now where you just talk to your device and it does whatever you want it to do. Like, it's not worth $150 to me. Now that $50 little hockey puck one, the Amazon Echo Dot, I don't know what the limitations are compared to the big one, but the Amazon Echo is actually pretty slick. I think it's a little unnecessary, but my dad has one, and when you're connected to Amazon, and if you use Amazon services the way that they want you to, Alexa the Amazon Echo is actually pretty awesome. You can get it to do anything. You can ask it what the weather is. You can ask it about traffic. You can tell it to play music. You can tell it shopping list. You can tell it shopping list items. All kinds of stuff, and it's a pretty swanky little thing. Again, I wouldn't pay $150. I think is for the big one, and then that new hockey puck one though, I might. I mean, if I got one, that'd be cool. But excuse me, I'm not going to buy one. Now, I actually signed up as an Amazon developer because they released the source code for it and a full guide to build your own homebrew Echo with a Raspberry Pi. Either a Raspberry Pi or an Arduino, but I think it was a Raspberry Pi.
What's a Raspberry Pi, Evans? I don't know that.
You don't know?
I've heard, but I don't like. But I never really questioned what it was. It looks like a microchip of some kind.
Well, it's a I would say a nano computer because technically a personal computer is a microcomputer, but that's an old term. I'd call it a nano computer. It is a board that has basically think the board from your cell phone, but with USB and HDMI ports on it. and it's about the size when you put it in a case, because it's open, so you need to put it in a case. When you put it in a case, it's about the size of a deck of cards or a pack of smokes, and it's a fully functioning Linux-based computer. It runs off of a micro SD card, and it's basically a project box for different things. You can run it as a Minecraft server. You can run it as we used them at my last district. We used them for digital signage. There's a whole mess of things you can do with a Raspberry Pi, and there's even a version of the operating system called RetroPie that is preloaded with emulators for classic games, and you can actually build a fully functional classic game cabinet scenario with a $35 computer.
We should look into that, Evans. That would be fun.
That would be it's awesome, dude. I have one from my old job. Probably shouldn't have said that on the air, but I have one from my old job, and I used it for a project for okay then.
Sorry,
For a surveillance camera. I set up a webcam as a surveillance camera as part of a project for a class, and you can do all sorts of really crazy stuff with a Raspberry Pi. And I want to say that it was a Raspberry Pi and not an Arduino, because an Arduino is more of a control board than an actual computer, because you have to hook an Arduino into a computer and upload the code to it, as opposed to a Raspberry Pi is a self-contained, self-sufficient computer. And it's got the newest version has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth built in, which is nice because it doesn't take up the USB ports, because pretty much you needed 3 USB ports, one for Wi-Fi, you need 2, one for Wi-Fi and one for Bluetooth, so you could have a wireless keyboard and mouse. But the newest one has integrated Wi-Fi and Bluetooth on it, and HDMI video, but a lot of times people don't even use the video out. They use it to set it up, and they set up a remote access client, and then they just remote into it from from whatever remote access client they choose to use to control it remotely without having to have it hooked up to a monitor. Because again, it's only the size of like a pack of cards, or a deck of cards. It's really small. But yeah, Amazon released the source code for Alexa and the full schematics and everything of how to roll your own Echo for like $50, including the Raspberry Pi. It only costs like $50 because all you have to the only other thing you have to get besides the Pi itself is a microphone. They make a little microphone USB. It's not any bigger than a Wi-Fi or a Bluetooth dongle, really. So you can talk to it. The downside is it's not always on, because Alexa's always on, and whenever you say Alexa, she answers you. This one, from what I understand, is not an always on thing, but this plans have a button that you push to talk instead of just talking across the room. You push a button, but you can tinker with it and get it where it becomes hands-free, basically. So yeah, I mean, they use them for home automation. I saw a project where because you can hook different sensors to it, and there's different little add-ons you can get. And I saw a project where somebody got moisture sensors, and they were going on vacation. And so they put moisture sensors in their plant, and they set this thing up to read the moisture level. And when the moisture level got below a certain point, it released water, and it watered their plants while they were on vacation. They have automatic dog food things where like the dog walks up and triggers a motion sensor and it releases a treat or it releases dog food or something to feed their dog while they were out of town or something. So yeah, like you can just search Raspberry Pi projects and there's literally hundreds of different things, and they range anywhere from just basic Minecraft servers and digital signage to daisy chaining 26 of them together to be a full web server. So yeah, and with micro SD cards going up to 128 gigs now, I mean, it's amazing what this little thing can do. So, yeah.
Woot.
So I'm getting James he doesn't listen to this, so I can say this. I'm getting James an electronics kit for Christmas. That's like a breadboard and LEDs and everything, and they're non-solder. You just stick them all in the the holes on the breadboard and to wire it all up, and then write the program that gets it to do. And it's got like 20 or so different projects. So he's getting into competitive robotics at school, and I can't afford to get him a robotics kit, but I can do this. This is only like $40. And so I'm getting him a little beginner electronics kit to work on coding and building little projects and whatnot. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
And how?
So I don't remember what we were getting Lil.
I don't think it was your mom.
That was inappropriate. Like, as inappropriate as those are, that was not okay. So we're getting Blake the Paw Patroller.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what we're getting Blake. And that's all we're getting Blake, because that son of a bitch is like $80.
Oh, I'll get him a lot.
So so yeah, Blake's getting the Paw Patroller, and James is getting the electronics kit, and Lily's getting something, I don't know. So yay, Christmas. So, well, I will say this. It is November 10th. By this point, the last 2 years, I had already emotionally shut down for the rest of the year. So I'm doing better.
Yay!
So I don't know if it's the Buddhism or the meds or both or what, but I am more emotionally stable than I was this time the last 2 years. So
I
yay.
think it's that you have a funny fucker in the room with you.
I think it is too. We made it 55 minutes. Thanks.
I was working hard. I was like, man, Chris has no editing. Let me fix this.
Yeah.
I was actually gonna, that was gonna be my Christmas present to you, was no editing, but
No,
Well, it's still early.
not to mention the fact that now that I do actually teach preschool, even though nobody has that I know about knows about our podcast, still.
Yeah.
I'm throwing in one. I'm gonna make you do the one coin. It was a sad level for us.
It was a sad level. It was a speed run. We didn't have time to stop for coins. That's what it was. No time to stop for coins. No time for love, Dr. Jones. I was going to say something coin-wise. Oh, we didn't talk about the Nintendo Switch.
I haven't looked into it enough to be able to intelligently.
Oh, I haven't. I don't know all the specs and everything. All I know is if that video, which I mean, that video is not intended to be realistic situations. No one is going to see a rooftop party from their window and then take their console with them to their rooftop party next door or anything like that. No one's going to stop their pickup basketball game to play NBA 2K17 or anything like that. That's not going to happen. But the guy on the airplane the guy that's playing the Zelda Scrolls, whatever the new Zelda game is, that looks like Skyrim, where he's playing it and then he takes it with him. That's more realistic. But if it does everything that video implies that it does, that's a hell of a thing. Because a portable console, and I listened to the Geek to Geek podcast, and they were talking about how Nintendo's going to market this as a console. Because that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be the successor to the Wii U. And they're going to market it as a console that has portability. They're not going to market it as a portable, as a handheld with a dock. But you're going to have people, like they suggested that this is the next phase in Nintendo's evolution, and that it will phase out the 3DS eventually, and that this will become a unified console, and the games that we would be getting on we would normally get on the 3DS, we will actually get on the Switch, as opposed to continuing to support the 3DS. I don't know how I feel about that. I think the 3DS has its place. Their argument was the 3DS doesn't... handheld consoles don't have to fit in your pocket anymore because nobody's carrying their Game Boy around in their back pocket like they used to. They're throwing it in a bag and in a backpack or in a purse or a bag or something, and that their use that the target audience for handhelds are still younger, skews younger, and they're used to tablets, and that this will appeal to that audience that's used to a tablet and a larger device as a handheld replacement for their 3DS, as long as the game catalog is adequate. And they can make them better. They can make console-level handheld games. But they raised a lot of questions, like, will you be able to get a second base by itself so you can dock it in the bedroom or in the living room or in the kids' room or whatever? And can you buy a screen by itself and like a second, like if you already have a base, can you buy them individually, like the components individually? And can it live as a handheld without the base? You know?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a ballsy console. I won't lie. I mean, that was a very impressive launch trailer. There were plenty of times that I was just in awe of what they're implying this thing will do. But I don't know. Again, it's still early. It's not coming out until March. CES is going to be in January, I think, is when we're going to get our first hands-on. Which will be interesting to see a console debut at CES. But there's nowhere else to debut this thing. They missed E3, and it comes out before E3. It comes out 3 months before E3. Doesn't it? Isn't E3 in June?
June or July.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming out 3 or 4 months before E3, and so CES really, if they're gonna do a world premiere hands-on, CES in January is the only opportunity they have, because there's no other major market event to do that at. But yeah, I need to it's still way too early to have an opinion on it, but I will say that trailer did its job. Because I'm not going to buy one. I have no interest in buying one. Even as impressive as the trailer is, I have no interest in buying one.
Well, I do, but not for any, simply for New Zelda.
Well, right. But yeah, I have no interest in buying it. I'm focused on getting a PS4. That's where my console money is going to go, is to a PS4.
Oh,
so
I tried out PlayStation VR a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And so when it was getting ready to come out, I looked into it. There is no way that you're going to get me to spend the same money I spent on a system on a peripheral. Like that. Just,
not yet. No, it's not worth it yet. And from what I understand from that, people that I've talked to, or not talked to, but people that I've in the research I've done on VR, headsets and controllers are still entry level VR. Until you combine the motion tracking, until you add motion tracking to it, where you don't need the controller, it's not going to be fully immersive. It's not going to be fully immersive VR. It's just going to be a peripheral. That's all it's going to be.
But see, I mean, the bit that I tried with the controller, I enjoyed. I mean, it was great for, like, there's certain games that I could be like, yes, 100%. This would be awesome to continue to play. Like, I think about playing some of these horror games. If you had, like, if I were to have, or like, especially like something like Perception, which is going to, like, it might eventually make it over to the PS4, but it's going to be a computer and Xbox game to start. Where the entire game is based on trying not to make sounds and trying to find your way through this house. Like, that game I could so totally see being completely awesome with the VR, but I'm not going to spend $400 on the VR right now.
Right.
Like, well, no, not even right now. Like, it's going to have to drop in price for me to.
One of the hosts of the Geek to Geekcast, he has one, the Vive, I think is what it's called. It is a fully immersive VR rig. You actually have sensors that you set up, and it's a 1-to-1 sensor cage is what you're creating, basically. And he said that it doesn't take, you just put the headset on, and there's no controller. It may be gloves, actually. It may be haptic gloves, but he said that he's playing a Skyrim-ish kind of game, and he's firing an arrow the way you shoot an arrow. Like, he's pulling the arrow out of a quiver on his back. He's pulling the bow back and firing it, and it's full. There's no controller. He's physically doing this and playing the game with himself. I mean, he is the controller. There's no external controller you have to do. And he said, comparing that to the PlayStation VR, where you've got a headset and controllers, and it's 50% immersive, we'll say, that it just doesn't compare. That VR is still too it's like 3D, and it could easily fizzle like 3D, where it becomes a superfluous feature that doesn't catch on. Like in-home 3D, that's what I'm talking about.
Right. Well, see, like I said, I mean, I tried it out and I loved, like, I don't need fully immersive. Like, I don't need to be doing my hands. I liked I liked what I had, where I had the headset on, where I had the headphones on, and I had the thing, and like if I moved my head, like the screen would move, like that. Was what I
Right.
liked.
Right. Yeah, I mean I've used the Oculus, the Kickstarter beta version of the Oculus. I played around with it, and I mean it's cool. It's really cool. Um, and I mean all the stuff I've done with my phone, with the basic VR headsets where you put your phone in it. Um, that's been really neat. But I don't know. It's still in its infancy
Yeah,
as far as I'm concerned.
but I haven't seen anything from it that has ever said, you know what, like,
Because I don't think they're ready to invest in it, which is counterproductive. If the company doesn't look willing to invest in it,
well, it's not.
the consumer's not going to invest in it.
But see, my problem is that you're like, even if they were investing in it, charging me $400 for it is not like, that's not. I'm just not going to pay that. I'm not going to pay that for a peripheral.
The hardcore gamer will, though. The person with disposable income that buys the newest, latest, and greatest every time it comes out will pay that. The hardcore gamer will pay that, because the hardcore gamer, how long's the PS4 been out? 2 years?
3 years.
3 years. Okay, the hardcore gamer spent what they spent on a PS4 at launch, or they're going to buy a Pro. They're going to trade up. They're going to trade up and get a Pro. But let's just say that let's say the hardcore gamer that bought the PS4 at launch, they spent $400 3 years ago. They're not going to have a problem spending that again.
But see, but you're talking to somebody who bought the PS4 at launch 3 years ago.
Yes, but you also are not one of these 12-hour-a-day online all the time with a headset talking to people, hardcore gamers.
No, I've never been that, because I don't like people enough to do online gaming. Like but that's also partially because I say I'm old school. Is, you know, I liked it back in the day when, you know, when multiplayer was, you got a bunch of friends together and you sat around and you played
the game. Yeah, exactly. But you're just over the line of a casual gamer. And
I'm more casual now than I used to be, because
it's because
of family responsibilities.
Right, it's a leisure activity for you. It is not your first thing. It's not the first thing you go to when you get home. It's not the thing you do. The people whom it is the thing they do is they game. They're going to spend that because they haven't spent that in several years. Even the people that have been holding out or upgrading to the PlayStation Pro, I still think they'll drop that, because they'll spend $500 to upgrade their current PS4 to a Pro with VR. It
doesn't really do anything.
That's what they'll do. They'll upgrade to a Pro with the VR. And you know, I'm not even sure the market for the Pro is, I don't know who the market for the Pro is, really. I don't know if it's the heavy gamer that already has a PS4 that wants to upgrade. I don't know if it's the heavy gamer that's held off getting a PS4 for the inevitable upgrade, or what. But yeah, no, there's a market for a $400 peripheral, but it's not you.
Yeah. I just wish it was. I wish that it was affordable, because like more affordable. Like if it was half the price that it is, I could have probably talked Kelly into getting it.
Right. It's not even Mikey's not even the target audience, but Mikey's a vintage gamer.
Well, then that means they just need to come out with a new Nintendo VR.
Right. No.
With the classic red color.
Virtual Boy DX or whatever. That's what they need to come out with.
Yeah.
They need to remaster the Virtual Boy.
Right.
Because and
keep the same red LED screen.
Yes, because I haven't had a red LED migraine in 20 years. Because, oh my God, that damn near killed me. I thought I was having an aneurysm. I played a Virtual Boy, and when I took my face off of that little headset, I couldn't see, and my head hurt so incredibly bad. It was awful. Like, I probably wouldn't have to wear glasses today if it wasn't for the Virtual Boy. But God, thank God, the Virtual Boy. But you know what? If someone was like, "Hey, I have a Virtual Boy for $50, do you want it?" I'd be like, "Done. Gimme." Why are we still having this conversation? Where is it? Like, seriously.
I would own a Virtual Boy.
Did I own one?
Yeah.
No, I played a demo of it at Sears.
Okay, I played a demo at Walmart. I'm trying to figure out if there, like, I have never met anybody who actually owned.
I haven't either.
Like, that's probably
because it did fairly well from what I understand. It did. I mean, sales wise, I mean, from what I understand, it did well. It was just it fizzled really quickly because people realized it was a piece of crap.
Right. Because I remember trying to play Mario Tennis, and it was so silly.
Was the demo, was Mario Tennis.
But the thing is that the whole concept was just silly. It wasn't like, it's even worse than like what you're talking about with the PlayStation VR. Because at least with the PlayStation VR, like, you move your head, it actually moves.
It moves with you. It tracks you. Yeah. This was static.
And like, so you're sitting there, you're pretty much just playing a game with your face really close to a red TV.
Yeah, that's really all it was. It was just a giant Game & Watch. Like, it was like a giant Tiger handheld.
Oh, I missed
attached to your face.
I miss the Tiger handhelds. I remember playing Batman.
Tiger handhelds were amazing.
Like, those were the first. Like, I can't remember if I had one of those before.
I had Ninja Turtle.
I had Batman.
I had a Ninja Turtle Tiger. So I had a Tetris watch that I got from out of a cereal box. Like, I sent off for it from collecting box tops or something, or UPCs off of Sears. But I had a Tetris watch that got taken up at school so many times. But I remember, like, I had a watch that was a fully functional Tetris game. It was amazing.
So let me know when we go off air, because I have some things I want to ask you guys.
So, well, we're done. I'm gonna have to wrap this up pretty quick anyway, because I got to go put Blake to bed. I think. Okay. I don't know if Steph did or not. So, yeah, I don't even know. I'll find an edit point in here somewhere at the end. I got nothing.
Well, still showing.